It's your favorite lesbians. I'm Gina.
I'm Vanessa, and today we're going to be making yum bowls. If you don't really know what that is, it's just going to be rice. We're going to use jasmine rice. We're going to have tofu. We're going to bread that. And then the star of the show is called yum sauce, so that's what we're going to be making right now. And then you could put cheese on top. People put olives, tomatoes, cilantro, green onions. It's whatever toppings you want to put on.
Yeah.
So
this is Cafe Yumm is a restaurant. I think it's just in the Pacific Northwest.
I think so.
But we tried it years ago and we thought it was so delicious. It's a standard, just like the easiest bowl that you can make. So you can switch out the ingredients. You could use different rice, different toppings, different protein source. But the star of the show is the liquid gold. And we found a recipe a while ago that works for us. There's different ways that you can do it. So we're just gonna show you today how that works.
Let's do it. I know you can get it at Whole Foods, but it's like $20.
More now.
Yeah.
More now. I think it's close to like
$30.
Yeah, close to $25,
yeah.
$22.
That's how good it is.
It's really good, but I'm not paying that much. And if you go to Cafe Yumm and you order a bowl, they call it a large. It's like not large in my
not
mind.
for us.
But they charge like $18 for this bowl, and I'm like, bro. And then if you want like extra yum sauce, they charge you for that too. So, you know, we resorted out like a long time ago. I was like, we're making this ourselves, and I think it's delicious. A lot of people have tasted it. They're like, this is really good. It might not be spot on, but it's really good.
I think it's good.
Yeah, so we'll show you how that works. So we're gonna show you the ingredients that we use for this video. This is more measured out just because I love the recipe, except for the seasonings are a little different.
Yeah.
But
you're gonna need a half a cup of almonds. We have raw almonds. You have a third of a cup of nutritional yeast. We have 2 garlic cloves. We have 2 lemons. We already have a can of chickpeas that have already been washed and rinsed. And then
these are the seasonings. It's a half a teaspoon of salt.
Yeah.
And probably a half a teaspoon of chili powder. And then I think it's supposed to be a half a teaspoon of cumin, but I did like half of that because I don't need that much. And then the turmeric is a quarter of a teaspoon. We don't have that measurement, so we just eyeball it. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of oil. Sometimes I don't use oil, I just use water, but we like to make it a little watery because over time in the fridge it likes to thicken up. So we're doing this in the morning before dinner.
We do have a cup of water just in case as well too.
Yeah, you gotta put some water in there, but if you need more, you need more.
Mm-hmm.
But since we don't put, like, they want a whole half a cup of the oil in there, but I don't want to put a whole half a cup.
No.
Just a little bit to make it creamy.
Hi, sleepy girl. Hello.
Almonds.
Nutritional yeast. The garbanzo beans. The seasonings. The garlic cloves.
Oh, this sauce came out really good. When Vanessa does it, the texture comes out too good. When I do it, it comes out a little watery. But
It looks so pretty and it smells so good too.
We got that mess cleaned up, and now we're just gonna make a little breadcrumb thing for the tofu. I think later I will maybe press the tofu a little bit. I'm using extra firm tofu that's in water. But I think the moisture from it helps to like keep all the breadcrumbs on the outside. So maybe I'll press it for just like a half hour, not too much. And then we'll dress it with this and air fry it. But we wanted to speak a little here's what we're gonna put in there. We're gonna put breadcrumbs, a little bit of this. This is all measured by your heart, so whatever seasonings you have or you like, however you marinate your protein, just do the same thing to tofu. We try to keep it like a neutral type of flavor since the yum sauce is the star of the show, so that's where all the flavor is really gonna come from. So I'm just using garlic, onion, paprika, parsley, salt, pepper, nutritional yeast. This is Old Bay. We just started using this and we're in love with it. So we're just gonna put it all in a bowl and you kind of just go with your heart. It doesn't really matter because the tofu is gonna take what it needs and then leave what it doesn't need. So
True.
I don't really have a measurement for this, so just kind of eyeball it, but we're going into it. So we wanted to talk a little bit about spinal flow and the importance of moving your spine. We're gonna switch because I can't think and pour at the same time. But we wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of moving your body. So if this year you're beginning like a new health journey, maybe you're eating better, we also want to encourage you to move better. So this year we really got into spinal flexibility, and we learned a little bit about it through this technique called the Spinal Flow Technique. And you can go to their website, but they have a chart on there that shows the 7 gateways of the spine, which I believe that it's the same thing as like chakras, but they didn't want to use that terminology. Just maybe they didn't want to steal it, but it really lines up to kind of the same idea. But we went to this girl, and if you're in the Portland area, and you can also find a spinal flow practitioner in your area, but in Portland area, this girl is really good. Her name is Annie, and she was so great to us. She would spend extra time with me, just hanging out with me, teaching me things, teaching me about my posture, about movement, and the whole technique itself is very like minimal, like non-invasive, like you're fully clothed, you lay on your stomach, and you have like things underneath your hips, and she basically just very lightly puts her fingers on different parts of your back that kind of open up the gateways to your spine, so she can actually feel the moment when flow starts happening. So if you think about it, your spinal cord goes from the base of your skull all the way down your spine, and it spreads out to each different organ in your body. And so if you say do the same movements, or maybe you have a sedentary job, or you're sitting down all day, or like on the computer or your phone, you got your head down, and if you have blockages or areas that don't move as much and are kind of constricted, then it messes with the flow to that area. So I think as a result, when you talk about like chakra parts, so say like you have not so much flexibility in like the base of your spine, you're going to end up that the way it's going to show up is that you're not going to have flow in that area. So like your uterus, or like you have PCOS or things like that, or like you have stomach issues. If you kind of crunch your stomach, maybe you have a lot of anxiety and that causes you to tighten your stomach, so you're gonna have like digestion issues. Or like for me personally, I have like rounded shoulders, and when you can talk about this in the physical sense, but also in the spiritual sense. And I think kind of growing up, I learned how to kind of guard my heart out of fear. And if you look at animals in the wild, like a scared dog will curl up, tuck their tail underneath, and that's the same thing that happens with our bones too. And so you kind of like learn this practice of protecting your heart, or being scared or fearful or something. And so that's kind of how I walked through life, was always kind of rounded. And so that's going to show up with like lung issues, heart issues. So any organ in this area, that's what it's going to affect. Same thing with your neck. If you got like a blockage, like today I kind of woke up with a kink in my neck because I didn't move last night. But your throat area, like you can't speak as well, or maybe you get sick a lot and you have like bronchitis or things like that. So we ended up going to this girl, and she taught us like a couple movements, and the technique itself is wonderful. But as a result of that, we've incorporated every day, twice a day, in the morning and at night, moving our spine, because we feel so much better. And if you think about it, not only are you constriction and cutting off the supply of the information coming from your brain to your body to tell it to grow, to heal, to repair, but you're cutting off lymph fluid, blood flow. So like my feet are cold all the time because I have hip issues and my hips are really, really tight. And that's because of, constricting. And that's for another day though. But when you think about it, when you start moving and opening it up, now you're getting more flow to your feet. Your feet are going to be warmer. The fluid, the lymph fluid that's stuck in there. So like if you wake up with like puffiness or swelling. Anyway, your lymph fluid is just stuck in this area. Moving your hips and doing like leg movements and stuff will help to move that lymph fluid out. So you could possibly look skinnier because you're moving that lymph fluid, because your lymph system doesn't have a pumping system. So the only way to move your lymph fluid is to manipulate your body, is to move, to rub, to massage, do all those things. So that's one of the things we've been doing. And in the Spinal Flow Technique, we got to do it together as a couple, and the energy that happens between people, often like say she gets like an upgrade spiritually, I'll automatically get it because we're kind of connected. So she stands in between us and she puts her fingers on along our spine. Yeah, or like memories will pop up.
Yes, but I think it's also too, people want a quick fix, so they think, oh, I'm just gonna do this one time. We had to do about 3 or 4 sessions. So what happened in my 3rd session, a memory came up of when I was a little girl. So my story was when I was 2 months old, I was flown to Colombia to stay with my grandparents until I was about 2 or 3. And the memory that showed up in my mind was that my parents had came to Colombia to come and pick me up. And I remember what outfit I was wearing. I had a little purse on, and I remember I was in my grandparents' living room. And they came through the door and they're like, okay, like we have to go back. And I remember like crying and screaming and running to my grandma's arms, and I was saying like, I don't want to go, like I want to stay here. And it was such a core memory, and I thought it was just really cool because I knew that I've always felt stuck coming back to the States and being stuck in the States, just because I was how do I say it?
Like she feels drawn to go back to Colombia.
Yeah.
Because she has this internal sense of
joy and happiness that I've grown up there.
Based off of that memory, but your brain will protect you from these negative memories, and that's why all these years she didn't remember this memory. When I was on the table next to her, like I heard her making noises and kind of coughing, and I think because she had she just stored it. Think about it, when you cry and you feel that like ball in your throat, you kind of just shove it down, and that's kind of what happened with that memory, is that it's shoved down. So I think she was like like grunting and clearing your throat, and through allowing that to flow out through the spinal fluid moving, she was able to have that memory. So I think that like really connected, like, oh, this is why I really miss Colombia, is because I miss feeling at home. Mm-hmm. And being wanted and welcome there because of all the love that you had there.
For sure.
And that's why you never felt at home here, because you were pulled back to it, and that was a traumatic memory.
Yeah. And remember, the body keeps the score. So it was just protecting me from that memory. And then of course, when I started to move my spine and having all those sessions, finally that core memory showed up. So we're gonna also be chopping up some green onions on top of our Yumm bowls. We have some cherry tomatoes that we also cut up, and then we're also gonna put cilantro on top.
Yeah.
I don't like olives, so we don't put olives on top of it, but it's usually, I think that's what is on their menu. So if you like olives, go for it.
Yeah, you can, I think you can choose like the super deluxe toppings or whatever, and that's like cheese and sour cream. They don't have vegan versions, but we do, so come eat at our house. But we're also gonna show you some of the spinal movements that we do that just, how when you like, oh man, it feels so good when you move your body in a way and you're like, yeah, like this is what I needed. Like if it feels good, then your body probably needs it. So by doing these movements, it's also gonna open up clarity to your brain, because now you're getting that flow, not only down to your feet, but it's coming back up to your brain. So maybe you'll have memories, maybe you'll have clarity, you won't feel mentally fogged anymore, or headaches and things like that. So trying these movements will really help you to open things up, and on your healing journey, I think it's gonna, just be a great thing to add to your day. Think about it. we brush our teeth at least hopefully twice a day, and we take care of our bones, but we don't take care of our bodies twice a day. We don't move twice a day. I mean, I'm not really a sedentary person, but like we do like to sit down, we'll TikTok, we'll watch TV, but like we always move before we go to bed. And like, you know, if you're sleeping the same position all night, then all that, you know, lymph fluid just gets stuck in there. So you gotta move it. And
when you flow, you grow, and you also glow, because it's also when you're moving your body, you are not as hinchada, swollen. So you're not swollen here.
Same thing with your face, puffiness.
Yeah. So you'll start, the more you move your body, you'll realize like that little hunch in the back of your neck, that'll start going away too. Even your neck, it'll get thinner. And then in your face too, you won't have puffy eyes or dark circles. So
yeah, so try it. I mean, we've been really having fun. Like we've kind of switched. We've always been like movement kind of girls, but we've always kind of done like weightlifting. We try to put on muscle mass so that we can burn, you know, more fat and all that. But this year we really got into the spinal flow, and it just feels so good. And like I feel, even though I'm working out less and lifting weights less, like I feel a lot skinnier, and I think it is because I'm moving this fluid that's been stuck in my body all of these years, you know, with my tight hips and my legs not having any heat. And it's all, you know, work in progress, and we're not 100%. There's some days where we don't, you know, do it in the morning or at night, or we're too busy or whatever, and that's okay, but we do it because we love it. And so when you feel how good it feels, and you feel the clarity that kind of comes through, like after this one spinal flow session that I had with her, like I felt so clear, and your spine and your you know, all that stuff is kind of the antenna to the spirit world. So like when I got out of that session, I was walking back to my car just feeling so connected with the world, in tune, present. You know, I feel like my mind is always like ahead of me, like this is how I run through life, is that I'm always in a hurry. But the spinal flow really just helped me to kind of slow down. So, and it's also, you know, spending an hour, you know, or half hour on the table face down in quiet, you know, if you're not really a meditator, I think that's a good exercise to add to the whole body healing. But we can get into that another day. But we'll show you some of the movements that you can do. And you know, like we don't have a lot of space in our place, but we make it work. But you can also, like, if you don't have time, maybe you have kids, you got a, you know, 10-hour a day job, like things to do, you can do it while you're sitting down. If you do have a sedentary job, like you can sit in your chair and you can move, and it'll feel good. Every once in a while, when you start to feel stiff, you know, if you work at a keyboard or something, your shoulders and this and that, like it's so good to move your body. And I think that it'll really help to release the toxins, especially if you're trying this new Veganuary or Meatless Monday or something, or eating healthier. You can release all of this, and moving your body will help it to release a lot quicker. So I believe that cancer begins where there's stagnation in your body. So, you know, like breast cancer is because the lymph nodes and the lymph fluid kind of gets stuck here, and there's not flow to your breast area, and nobody thinks to work out their boobs or move their boobs or, you know, I don't know. But that's just a theory. We're not doctors. We're not professionals. It's just some stuff that we picked up along the way. We really enjoy it. We thought we'd share it with you. If there's some symptoms that you're experiencing that, you know, are undesirable, then try moving. See how that works.
Let's show you some exercises.
Your spine is an energetic highway, so we want to show you some exercises on how to open up your energy in your body. Your mindset affects your posture. If you constantly put yourself down, how can you stand tall in confidence? Your outer posture is a reflection of your inner posture. When you open up the energy in your spine, it gives you clarity and focus to get things done. When you flow, you grow. Move gently, but with intention. Here comes Zella doing her big stretches with her mama as well. She loves to move her spine too.
So we encourage you to move your spines today, and let us know in the comments how it works out, how it feels, or if there's a different movement that you'd like to share with us. We'd love to hear from you.
just gonna plate everything. We have the rice. I put some cheddar cheese on top. We have the crispy breaded tofu that I'll place on top. We have some edamame. We have some cilantro, some green onions, some tomatoes,
sour cream. The tofu came out real nice, crispy, crunchy, but like soft and moist on the inside because I didn't press it for too long, so I think it came out good. Now the star of the show.
Oh, she's so creamy. She's like the perfect consistency.
Yeah, looks good.
And of course, we need to have some seaweed on the side too.
You can chop up the seaweed and put it on there, but we like to use it as like a scooper.
Yeah. All right.
She's gonna get a bite of everything.
But I'll try to be classy about it.
But the Yumm sauce is so good. It's so creamy. It's got all the flavors that you need. So I think you should try it for yourself and put it on, you know, whatever mix match. You can put it with like, instead of edamame, you can do black beans and make like a spicy version and put maybe some chili oil on there. A little bit of soy sauce would be good. What's your verdict?
It's so good because there's everything. There's the creaminess from the sour cream and the Yumm sauce, but then it balances out because of the tofu because it's so crispy. And then the rice is just so fluffy. And then everything just marinates together and it's just so like refreshing. Like it's a light meal. So I hope that you try it, especially like with the edamame too. It has that like nice little like, just a little bite, you know, because I don't like it when it's too soft. So it has the perfect little bite. So it's so good and creamy. I just love the sauce.
Yeah.
Delicious. And it has like the perfect like lemon. You could always put a little bit more, but I think it's good with 2 lemons. Oh, it's so delicious.
Yeah, really good. This came out really good. So if you try it, let us know. We hope that you try some of the movements also.
Yes.
And
I hope that you take time to really make time out of your day, even if it's just 1 or 2 minutes to do some of these exercises or movements, just so that maybe a memory would pop up or, you know, just to feel more in tune with your body. And I think it is a type of self-care practice. So something to think about. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. We love you all. Hope to see you
subscribe,
soon.
like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of this style. If you have any questions about veganism or movement or healing or anything like that, drop us a comment down below. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.